all around the world. What's going on in Australia? What's going on in Japan? What's going on in India? Speak to it, because this chick gets really fired up. And if you read her blog at Ice Turtle Girl, she got plenty to say. Trust me, check her out.
Well, all over the world, people of darker complexion are being killed at a higher rate than anybody else on the planet. And it doesn't matter what race you are. If you are a dark-skinned person, you are being killed at a higher rate. In Australia, the Aboriginal people are being killed at a national high, and they don't even make up but like 2% of the whole population, because they were killed off by when the Europeans came over to Australia. And it happens all over the world. It happens in Central and South America, in our country, in Canada, in every part of the world. Darker skinned people are on the attack. And
are being attacked.
Yeah, are being attacked. And it's ridiculous, because not everybody in the world values blackness in the same way that they should. A lot of people are very racist when it comes to wanting to support and to value blackness in their communities in a lot of places around the world. And that's why we have these crises. So that's why when people were getting upset and frustrated and fed up and were going onto the streets all over the world against police brutality and to support George Floyd and all the other unarmed black people that have been killed, it's because they're seeing these problems are happening in their own community as well. And they're looking at it, hopefully, and starting to see, like, we're a part of the problem too, and we need to fix what is going on in our communities as well. Because there should never be this gap between the lighter privileged people and the darker skinned people who do all the work for our communities. It should never be that gap. And people need to fix that problem, like, ASAP, because we're tired. We're tired, and we're done being the people who are doing all the work for everybody, but are being killed at a high rate. So we need to fix that problem today.
And the other thing is, people's history, and it's his story, is selective. Mm-hmm. And that's the other thing. Who tells the story, makes themselves the heroes. The fact that this white woman is telling her class, in elementary school class, that black people need to go back to Africa. Excuse me? Where did you come from?
Yeah,
and that's what I said. Where did she come from? You're not from this country, because this is indigenous Native American territory. This is the country where people's prayers made a vibration so strong that people from all over the world wanted to come here and start over. The price of that was they came, they saw, they took, they killed, and tried to vanquish. Now they want to say, make America great again. This is a white country. In your dreams.
Never.
Take yourself on back to those white countries where your heritage is from, where there are white, predominantly white, societies, and go live there. We'll help. We'll wave goodbye at the shore. See ya.
Okay.
Go on back.
If that's what you want.
If it's all like that, and that's who you want to be around, then go back to where your people came from, and good luck to you. But don't try to claim something that's not yours, and then try to say, "Oh yeah, this is our country." No, and then relegate the original people of this country as they did in Australia. They used to run the Aboriginal people like herded animals off of cliffs to clear the land and get rid of them. But it's their vibration, it's their ceremonies, it's their blood that holds that piece of land that Mother gave them, put their medicines there, put their heartbeat there, gave them the synchronicity and the understanding of those waves of the ocean, of the rocks and the spirits that live there, that they're so finely in tune with. You want to come in there and take all those things and then destroy those people, and then you wonder why you have all the problems that you have. This happens all over the world, everywhere. That conquer mentality, that I don't like what's going on in my country, so I'm going to go take some of yours, or you have riches that I want. You can't spend those riches in the spirit world.
Nope.
But you can sure get the karma that you
big time.
you incur from doing these things. And the thing is that, we have to rescript our own stories. Women have to rescript their own stories because women are been pushed down, just like Black Lives Matter. Yes, all lives matter, people want to say, and that's true. Every tree, every bird, every animal. But right now, we're talking about people of color, black people, brown people, native people that are being murdered at such a high rate that their history is being wiped off the map. You're enjoying the fruits of their labor and their genius. You wouldn't have traffic signs. You wouldn't have the cotton gin that brought in the cotton industry. You wouldn't have all of these light bulbs, all these other things. Yes, the filament in that. You wouldn't have a shoe tying up those shoes that you're tying up because of a black man's genius. The cotton gin, all of these things that made slavery even worse because it made it more efficient. Don't even know your own history. Don't even know how beholding you are. Being racist about some things and then going to rip off Taco Bell, which supports this craziness and people that think like that. But you're taking somebody else's cultural foods, their way of eating, twisting it and jerking it all out of all context and making this awful fast food, unhealthy stuff that people binge on. But you're still taking somebody else's cultural things and then using it to make money and then spitting on them. The farm workers, the people in the fields that are doing all this harvesting, you kick them out. Now the crops went to rot because you had nobody, but then you don't treat them as decent human beings while they're doing this labor for hardly anything. You take their children and you put their children in cages and lock them up, rape them, steal their organs, all of these things.
And then traffic them.
And then say, that's terrible. That's terrible. When's God going to do something about it? When are you going to do something about it? If those were white kids in those cages, I don't know if anybody's seen, what was that movie with Samuel Jackson and the little girl gets raped by those Klansmen or whatever. And at the end, and it's got Matthew McConaughey, and at the end of the thing, the key punchline was when he's talking to this all-white jury trying to get justice for her, and they had her on the stand, and she told what had happened to her and how she had been raped by these people and beat up and left to die on the side of the road. And he said, now close your eyes and imagine that was a white child, which stunned the jury, but made them think. Even that racist judge had to stop and think, what if that was a white child, which turned the tide, but it shouldn't have to come to that. But what if? What if somebody came and took all these white children that came from Europe and put them in a cage? There would be such an outrage over that. Can't happen. So I'm not trying to be, I'm trying to bring knowledge, and I want to bring hope that this wake-up call, where people of every race, ethnicity, religious persuasion, gender persuasion are in the streets, and they're saying enough, no more. This has got to continue, though. It's got to go to the voting thing, and then when you vote in the next group of people, if they're not doing what you need them to do, if the laws don't change, if the behavior doesn't change, don't wait 4 years to boot them out. You get them out right away, and you vet these people before they can take office. And you young people need to step up. You need to be running for office. Those that are like-minded, like spirit. Not everybody looks like you is for you. Know that too, but we have more people that are in the light, that are working for the higher purpose, that are taking this COVID and this, which more people of color all over the world are dying from, than other people. And now you got all of this where, the native prophecies speak of this time, and they talk about how the truth will out, that now we're in a time of truth, and that no matter if it's a personal truth or whatever, you're not going to be able to bury anything anymore. Everything is going to be exposed and brought to light, and people are going to have to look at it, they're going to have to deal with it and make some changes. So I am, for fun, pulling some cards, and let's see what they say. So the first one that I pulled was the life force. complementing that, because I used 2 decks, is Field of Plenty, which is ideas and needs that manifest. So the life force of people that are being squeezed out of them is bringing in new ideas that are manifesting in change. The Medicine Bundle and the Air, which is this particular card, Negative Thinking.
And this one said allies and support.
Allies and support, thank you.
And that's really important right now.
It is, so you speak to that.
Because we need allies and we need supporters in this fight. And not just this fight, but we need in all fights that are going on right now. We need allies and we need supporters that are going to be on the right side, who are of like spirit, who are going to support these causes. Because we can't have... Everybody wants to talk about how the earth is falling apart. She can take care of herself, but we have to take care of us. If we don't get us together, we cannot save anybody's earth. So, if we don't figure this out as allies, as supporters of each community that is going through these things, we cannot have... Changes. Yes, and changes. We cannot have a healthy earth at all.
Right. And so this is the other card that went along with the Medicine Bundle, the allies and support. It's getting rid of that negative thinking that we are oppressed and downtrodden and things are so horrible and we can't do anything about it. We can, because we do have the allies and the supporters in the physical, but we also have them in the spirit world. Mm-hmm. We have ancestors, we have spirit guides, we have the earth, we have all sorts of energies that are helping us to get through this. So think about it. Contemplation. Think about what you're doing. Don't just be reactive, be proactive, but be mindfully proactive.
Yes.
Sit with it. See what needs to happen and go from there, because the victory is ours. We see that all over the world. Victory is definitely ours. Father of Fire brings in the drum, the rhythm, and the internal timing, which means that, yeah, we're fired up. And the drum beat has been called. Mm-hmm. And we're all getting into sync. That rhythm and that internal timing of coming together now at this time with this anger, but being in a place of solidarity and proaction, which draws on our inner strength of all of us. We draw the lightning. The thunder beams show it. We draw it. And the lightning is out there. The lightning is quickening things because we are stepping up and it is going into purification. We are purifying all of this energy that is so negative and horrific and turning it into a positive. Mother of Fire, she burns off all those things that we no longer need, that are not serving us, and also she's carrying our prayers in the native way to Creator and helping to bring in balance. It's a ritual of joy, because not just are we saying the things that are lamentable and sad and hurtful, but also we have rituals of joy where people are singing and marching and chanting and hugging each other and sharing food and water and looking out for each other, and outrage, not just if somebody black is injured, but like that old man that they knocked down and they got arrested for, you know, and people said, oh, heads are going to roll now because he was white. But black people, brown people, yellow people, red people, everybody was in empathy. Everybody, to see the jingle dress dancers from the native tribes and the Aztec come out and dance their ceremonial dances and chant and be in solidarity as one people and bring their medicine. Those are the things that we're all doing now. And then we have Heyoka, who is the humorous one, the jokester. You gotta have humor, because you have humor in so many situations, and people are, like me, making cracks and whatever, but there is that smile. There is not humor about the, of course, disgusting things that are happening, but, we find humorous situations and joy. I think it's not so much humor as it is with all the sorrow. The opposite of that is joy and laughter.
Yeah.
And when you see these things and see these people come out, and these little children that are out there like in your face telling you like it is, and you can't help but smile. And when you see all of the people out there doing the things that they're doing and holding that space together, you can't help but smile. And that brings hope. And with hope gives that renewed vigor to keep this thing moving, to keep on track, and know that Mother got you, Spirit's got you. Keep those prayers up. Keep your protection around you. You know, we watched this when we were at Standing Rock. Yeah. Same thing, you know. Mm-hmm. And it just was, you know, what was not just what was happening that was so profound in the camp. That was, you know, the voice of Winnie McChoney was, you know, a 2-year-old came up with the slogan. Yeah. Those little ones, oh my gosh, you know. But we need to just be knowing that we are in divine order, that this is prophecy from so many native tribes. And I say, you know, yeah, let's call out the names and call out, and those that don't have frontline people's names or where your people have been killed, raise their voices, raise their names anyway, say them amongst your family and your community, uplift their voices and their spirit, and we thank them as well. And we thank those of their Native American, indigenous tribes all over the world, of peoples that no longer are on this planet, that their names are remembered through rivers, through street signs that people got the nerve to name these signs after it, all of this. And these tribes physically no longer exist in this country. But we keep uplifting them, and we keep saying their name. Say their name, say their name. Maimuna used to bless you with the Sandra Bland song, Say My Name, because that is what we need to do. And say the name of yourself and put protection around you. Say the name of your ancestors and your friends and your family, and just uplift everybody and be in prayer, yes, and be thankful, yes, that you're in a time that you asked to come to be in, and that you're stepping up on the right side, that the energy is rolling. And this is the thing, when people put energy into something, it builds that vibration. We know that. It's like a tidal wave. The more energy that goes to it, the bigger those waves get, and they come at you and come at you. So we're putting the force of spirit, of healing, of justice, of enough, that now things are going to, that momentum of everybody on the street that are watching at home, that are in heart sympathy with this, that are willing to not just be in lip service and say, oh yeah, we're with you, while they're killing other people in other countries and taking their countries and their, you know, culture. All of these kids and all of these things, you know, this is your time to step up. You got a whole lot of, you know, there's a comedian from India, right?
Yes.
Who has been
He's calling, Indian Muslim, I think.
Yeah, and he's calling out everybody on the planet. Yeah, you get out there and you march, but at home, while you're sitting there watching it and saying, what are you doing to your own people? What are they doing to the Dalits? What are you doing? This one's fired up about that. But also, I'm saying, those that take from black culture, time to give back. Be something, what is it?
What? Be the change you want to see in the world?
Well, be the change you want to see in the world, but I'm just saying, you know, people that take from black culture, that want to do hip-hop, and they want to do rap, and they want to dance like black people, and but they don't want to be black people, because they don't want the other part that comes with it.
Yep.
And they're making millions of dollars imitating black culture.
Donate your money.